So next one, that is investment expenditure. So consumption expenditure we already discussed, and the second one, that is investment expenditure. What is investment expenditure? Investment expenditure is the expenditure made by producers on final goods. Okay, so before analyzing investment expenditure detailedly, firstly we can understand what is capital. So what is capital? So in economics, letter K is used to denote capital. Okay, so capital is a man-made goods used in the process of production. So normally this capital shows the production capacity of the firm. If a producer has a higher amount of capital, then definitely he can produce more output. So higher level of capital shows higher level of production capacity, whereas lower level of capital shows lower level of production capacity. So normally this capital shows production capacity of the firm. And next one, what is investment? So you know, capital, it is a man-made goods used in the process of production. So sometime this capital may change. Normally capital will increase. So this increase in capital is known as investment. Otherwise it is also known as capital formation. For example, so if an individual A, he is a producer and he started his business with 3 machineries. Machinery is a capital. Okay, so his business he started in the year 2019, and at the end of 2019 his machinery became 5. His machinery became 5. So here capital is increased from 3 to 5. So increase in capital, that means 3 became 5. What is the change? It is 2. So that 2 is known as investment. Got it? So investment means increase in capital, and symbolically I is equal to delta K. Delta means change. Change, K for capital. So change in capital is known as investment. Next one, that is components of investment. So investment is divided into 2 types. First one, that is fixed investment. Second one, it is inventory investment. Fixed investment, it is simple one, that is if a producer's fixed capital is increased during an accounting year or during a financial year, so that increase in fixed capital is known as fixed investment. Increase in stock of fixed asset. Okay, so fixed investment is equal to, how we can calculate? Fixed investment is equal to stock of fixed asset at the end of the year minus stock of fixed asset at the beginning of the year. For example, if a producer started his business with 10 machinery, and at the end of that financial year his machinery became 25, so as per this formula, fixed investment we can calculate, that is first one, stock of fixed asset at the end of the year, that is 25 minus stock of fixed asset at the beginning of the year, it is 10, that is equal to 15 machinery. So 15 machinery is fixed investment. Understood? So fixed investment means change in or increasing stock of fixed asset. So when this fixed investment increases, or when stock of fixed asset increases, it will automatically increase the production capacity. When production capacity of the firm is increases, then what will happen is their production or its production will increase. When production increases, what happened to output? Output will increase. When output increases, output means GDP, gross domestic product. Okay, so when output increases, GDP will increase. When GDP increases, country can achieve economic growth. So the main component of economic growth, that is fixed, one is fixed investment. And the second component of investment, that is inventory investment. Normally a producer may hold a stock of finished goods in his hand, stock of semi-finished goods in his hand, and a stock of raw material in his hand, because future is uncertain. So anything will happen in future. Okay, so for that purpose, he may keep stock of some finished goods, or stock of some semi-finished goods, or stock of some raw material with himself. So these stocks are known as inventory stock. These stocks are known as inventory stock. So when this inventory stock changes or increases, so that increase in inventory stock is known as inventory investment. For example, suppose a shirt manufacturer, he kept 200 shirt in his hand when he start his business, or when he start the new financial year. So 200 shirt. At the end of that financial year, this stock of shirt became 250. So inventory investment means change in inventory stock. So starting time inventory stock, it was only 200 shirt. At the end of the financial year, that inventory stock became 250. So change, that is 50 shirt. So that 50 shirt is our inventory investment. So this inventory stock means stock of finished goods, stock of semi-finished goods, and stock of raw material. So this inventory stock again classified into two: desired inventory stock and undesired inventory stock, or planned inventory stock and unplanned inventory stock. Desired inventory or planned inventory stock, then undesired or unplanned inventory stock. So desired or planned inventory stock, these inventory stocks are maintained by the producer to meet future demand. For example, suppose individual A, he is a producer and he is producing commodity X, and he is expecting that in 2021 the demand for this commodity X will increase more. At that time what will happen? He may keep, or he will purchase some raw material additionally, and he will keep some of a commodity X which are already produced with himself to meet that future demand. So that type of inventory stock is known as desired or planned inventory stock. Whereas undesired or unplanned inventory stock, from the name itself we can understand. So here this inventory stock is raised due to some economic recession. For example, the producer expected that in that financial year, the producer expected that the demand for this commodity X will be 200. But unfortunately, due to some natural calamities or due to some economic recession, or now we are facing COVID-19 also, so the demand for this commodity X is decreased to only 50. Now he can sold only 50 unit of commodity X into the market, and remaining 150 unit of X is with himself. So that was unexpected one. So that's why this 150 unit of X is known as undesired or unplanned inventory stock. So next one, another way of classification of investment is gross investment and net investment. So gross investment means total investment. So previously we studied two type of investment. It is first one fixed investment and second one inventory investment. If we add this both investment, then what we will get? We will get gross investment. So gross investment is equal to fixed investment and inventory investment. And the next one, that is net investment. So net investment means if we subtract depreciation from this gross investment, that is known as net investment. So what is depreciation? So in simply, depreciation means loss of value of an asset due to wear and tear. If we continuously use a machinery, so its value will decrease. So that rate of decrease in value is known as depreciation. So in the case of gross investment, we will not consider about depreciation. For example, suppose if a producer has 3 machineries and 5 inventory store, so gross investment is equal to 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. But here in the case of this fixed asset, or in the case of this fixed investment, its value will decrease if the producer continuously use that machinery. Is it not? So that is not considered in the calculation of gross investment. So in the case of net investment, we will subtract the value of depreciation from this total investment. So that is net investment is equal to gross investment minus depreciation. So in simply, net investment will give the actual figure of investment of a firm. Because in gross investment, we are not considering the value of depreciation. So the difference between gross and net, the difference between here it is gross, here it is net. So the difference between gross and net, that is depreciation. Keep in mind, because for our next chapter, this thing is required, the difference between gross and net. So from this net investment, we can easily calculate gross investment. How we can calculate? Gross investment is equal to net investment. If we take this minus depreciation to this side, then it will become plus. So net investment plus depreciation. So if we get gross investment, then we can easily calculate net investment by subtracting depreciation from gross investment. If you get net investment, then you can easily calculate gross investment by adding depreciation. So net investment is equal to gross investment minus depreciation, and gross investment is equal to net investment plus depreciation, or gross investment is equal to fixed investment plus inventory investment. Okay, so next one, that is depreciation. What is depreciation? So depreciation is also known as consumption of fixed capital. Consumption of fixed capital. So in simply, depreciation means loss of value of fixed asset due to normal wear and tear. If we continuously use a machinery, its value will decrease. That is this one. Second one, that is accidental damage. Due to accident also, the value of an asset will decrease. For example, suppose today if you purchase a car and unfortunately you made an accident, and while purchasing that car you spend 4 crore rupees, and while reselling that car, definitely you will not get 4 crore rupees. You may get 50,000 or 60,000 because its value is decreased due to usage as well as due to accident also. Okay, next reason of depreciation, it is expected obsolescence. Expected obsolescence means the value of an asset will obsolete or outdated due to change in technology or change in demand. Suppose, for example, suppose a factory is that is a factory of producing black and white TV. Factory of producing black and white TV. So they have the machinery of producing this black and white TV. And when the color TV is introduced into the economy or into the market, what will happen? The demand for that black and white TV will decrease. Automatically, the machinery which is used for producing this black and white TV, the value of that machinery will also decrease. So that is known as expected obsolescence. So the value, when the value of an asset is decreased due to change in technology or due to change in demand, that is also a reason of depreciation. So mainly 3 reasons are there for depreciation. First one, that is normal wear and tear. Second one, it is accidental damage, and third one, it is expected obsolescence. Okay, so in simply, depreciation is the loss of value of asset due to normal wear and tear, accidental damage and expected obsolescence. Then how we can calculate depreciation or value of depreciation? So in accounts you studied two methods of calculating depreciation, written down value method and straight line value method. So here we can use this formula. In economics we can use this formula for calculating depreciation. Depreciation rate or depreciation is equal to cost of capital asset, how much money we spend for purchasing that asset, that minus scrap value. While we sell this product, how much money we will get, that is known as scrap value, divided by expected lifetime of that asset. For example, suppose individual A, he purchased a machinery of 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees, and the expected lifetime of that 1 lakh rupees this machinery is 10 years. And while reselling this asset, after some years he sold this asset to other person, then the scrap value that is equal to 10,000. He got 10,000 for that asset. Then how we can calculate depreciation? So depreciation is equal to first one, cost of capital asset. What is 1 lakh minus 10 scrap value, how much it is? 10,000 divided by expected lifetime, that is 10, that is equal to 90,000 divided by 10, that is equal to 9,000. So depreciation is equal to 9,000. So one of the important reason of this depreciation, it was expected obsolescence. So one more concept is related with obsolescence, that is unexpected obsolescence. Expected obsolescence and unexpected obsolescence. So expected obsolescence means when the value of an asset or when a machinery is outdated due to change in technology or due to change in demand, that is expected obsolescence. So if the value of an asset is decreased or reduced due to natural calamity or due to economic recession or depression. For example, in 2018, Kerala is witnessed a flood, unfortunately. And as a result of this one, what happened? A lot of machinery became damaged. So when we sell this machinery into the market again, we will not get the price of that machinery. Only 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees we will get. So that means the value of that asset is decreased. What is the reason? Natural calamity. So here it will not be treated as depreciation. It is treated as unexpected obsolescence. Okay. So unexpected obsolescence means loss of value of an asset due to natural calamities or due to economic depression or recession. During economic depression, if the country is faced recession or depression, automatically the price of commodities will decrease. So the value of asset will decrease. Is it not? So that is also known as unexpected obsolescence. And another name of this unexpected obsolescence is capital loss. Capital loss. Okay, so unexpected obsolescence is also known as capital loss. And one more thing, keep in mind, this capital loss we will not consider in the calculation of national income. That is our next chapter. Okay, so this capital loss we will not consider in the calculation of national income, whereas this depreciation, that only we will consider in the calculation of national income. So let us wind up this session, that is from the beginning itself. Today we discussed first one, it is introduction to macroeconomics. microeconomics, then what are the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Next one, scope of macroeconomics or subject matter of macroeconomics. After that we discussed some basic concept used in the macroeconomics, that is types of goods. Then next one, consumption expenditure, investment expenditure, then depreciation, gross investment, net investment, unexpected obsolescence, etc. So we can continue this chapter.